to Making Room for More. Today's episode, we're going to be we're going to be doing the butt shot. So, you already know how I feel about shots, and this one is in the rear end, so it's going to be interesting. Get to that, what's been going on lately. So, just been continuing with the medications. And we're in our guest room right now. For some reason, we decided to store everything in our guest room. I guess because it's like out the way and no one's really gonna mess with it. So we can take a look. Here's kind of our whole medicine setup. So we've got all of our needles and all of our medications and the sharps containers. This box is like a box that the medications came in, but we've just been using it for like trash from all of the wipes and everything that's been going on. So here we are. We're getting ready for progesterone oil, which is going to be the butt shot. And we're actually a few days away from the actual transfer. So we're going to talk about that too today. But before we get there, Larry, I decided that I want to call him my doctor. It's kind of fun. So my doctor, Larry, is going to be administering the shot. And I am going to, before he does that, I'm going to get the needle and everything all set up. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing because this is a new shot for me. The other ones have been in my stomach, and this one is a completely different needle. So I'm going to start with an alcohol prep pad. I have washed my hands already and I haven't touched anything, so my hands are clean. We don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna take the progesterone oil. So technically, I have the option to have like these numbing patches, and I'm supposed to have a heating pad and all of that, but I didn't go that route. I decided that I'm gonna kind of like go for the gusto, and if it's unbearable, then I'll resort to other options, but I'm just gonna keep it really straightforward. So technically, I think you're supposed to like warm the oil a little bit potentially to make it go in a lot easier, but I'm just gonna go for it because I don't like this whole thing to be drawn out. I just like to get it done. So I'm gonna wipe the top of my progesterone oil. I'm gonna get rid of that in my little handy bag there. And this is the needle. So it's a pretty big one. I'm gonna take this, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Hold on, I'm gonna take the cap off. How does this cap come off? I'm gonna take the cap off, and I am going to, you might not be able to see it that well, but at least you'll be able to see the shot. I'm gonna stick it, actually, I'm gonna pull this plunger back so that we can prevent air bubbles. And I'm gonna stick it in the oil, and I'm gonna lift it up. You know, I think I just did that wrong, but the whole point is you're supposed to get the right measurement. So I'm trying to get to the one. That's what I do know. So I am going to slowly dial this back. Hopefully no air bubbles. And the fact that I'm actually doing this myself is a big step for me because usually I do not like to look at the needle before it gets injected into my body. It's kind of like one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to see it. Let's just do this. So I'm gonna pull this back, and I feel like there's an air bubble in it, a really big air bubble. So I probably did that wrong. So let me just keep going here and see if it gets any better. Okay, I feel like that didn't get any better. So let me try this again. Okay, now we've got a little oil going back and forth. I'm thinking that I should be able to get to one accurately this time. So, and the oil itself was kind of bubbly as well. Okay, I feel like this is all wrong. I think I did something wrong, guys. Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time. And if I don't get it, I might have to call for backup because Dr. Moore back there, my cameraman behind there, is a little bit well versed with needles. Oh, you know what? I might have gotten it this time. No, I didn't. Okay, so I'm gonna call for backup. I need help from Dr. Moore because I feel like I've botched this whole process and I don't really know what's going on. So, honey.
All right, let's see here. Well, not for sure the correct medical way to do this, but we'll just get all that back in there like that, right? All right, and then get your amount. This is 1 unit.
You're supposed to put it on a flat surface. I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
Okay. Well, guess we're learning as we go.
Clearly, we're not professionals as we do this at all. But the point is 1 unit in the butt.
All right, we'll try to draw it up slowly. All right.
So one thing that I will say as we do that, I think I talked about last time how I hadn't really had any side effects or reactions. One thing that I did notice was with the estrogen patches, I started to get like bloated, like my stomach has poked out pretty significantly, but I guess that's pretty normal. The other thing that I've learned too is that it's important to drink a lot of water throughout this process. So I've literally been drinking water like some kind of camel because I think that that's supposed to help with everything going on, particularly these progesterone oil shots.
You've had a lot of bathroom breaks too.
I know, that's the thing. Like, I feel like I can't really get very much done because I'm literally going to the bathroom every 5 seconds from drinking all the water that I've been drinking. But you know what? If it's gonna make the process easier, then I'm fine with it. That's the other thing too, though, is constipation is a potential like side effect as well. And so I do not want to take like Miralax or anything every day. So I've been very adamant about going to the bathroom regularly, also drinking a lot of water. And so far, I've been very successful. I haven't had any issues. So just in case you wanted to know about that, there's some information.
Really great job. So obviously we've got the syringe dialed up at 1 unit, correct?
Yes.
Right, so it's 1 unit. So then the next step for us is to recap.
Oh yeah, and switch the needle out.
And then we got to switch the needle out. So basically just take the current needle off.
And the reason why we're taking the needle off is because apparently, like, this is an intramuscular shot, I believe is what it's called. And so it's got to go, this whole needle has to go all the way into the area. And so that needle currently has been a little bit dull because it had to go through the rubber on the actual vial.
Especially as many times as we had to try.
So it has to go through the rubber on the vial, and it's been kind of dulled. So you want a new needle so you can just inject it right in and not have any issues.
So old needle, sharps container, put that in there, put that back over here. And then new needle, thank you. Put that on there like this, twist it on good and tight. And now we're ready for the shot.
Bear with us because I have to be ready. I think that I'm ready though. So it's just kind of gonna be like, just go for it. So I'm just gonna go for it.
Right. I've actually already washed my hands as well too, but just as extra precaution, make sure we get a nice little wipe, just to further sanitize. There's a lot of crazy things going on right now. All right, alcohol prep pad. Go ahead and prep the surface.
And don't worry, he's not gonna show like my whole backside. There's just a little mark there so he knows where to go.
Exactly. So in order to prepare for this, we've actually already marked the area. The typical areas you want to get in the upper buttocks area. So we'll go ahead and clean that with some nice alcohol swab there.
And again, we are not medical professionals. We're just showing you our process.
Exactly.
So this is what we're doing. We're not trying to teach you how to do injections. We're just going for it.
So I'll uncap, which is pretty easy. And then the next thing is really key is to make sure that you spread the surface. So that way when you're ready for the injection, it'll make it a little bit easier. And then you just want to go ahead and dart it in there and then pull it out to make sure there's no blood. There wasn't, so we can go ahead and slowly inject that into the skin. into the muscle. And then pull it out, place that over there. Then we'll throw a pad and place it right there. And she is good to go.
So I'll hold up. Thanks. You're a good doctor.
Thanks. So obviously we want to take the needle and make sure we dispose of it in the stripes container. Very, very, very important. And we're good to go. So that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. I feel like I can like smile and breathe a little bit better now that that's over. I'm just applying pressure, and I honestly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, you can definitely feel it. It almost feels like it goes numb, and then you can feel like a pinch, and you can feel everything happening, and then you just pull it out. So anyway, that was the shot.
All done. You did an excellent job as you did last time. So kudos to you.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
So what's next? So as I said before, we're a couple of days from the actual transfer. So I'll go back for blood work and just make sure all my levels are at the right place. And then we will be heading out of town because that's where the embryos are. And it's interesting because we won't know until we get there really exactly what happened. So they're frozen right now. They have to unthaw them and monitor them and make sure that they're healthy. And then it'll be determined if it's 1 or 2 or what's going on. So pretty much we'll get there and we'll find out that day, I think, how many kids we're gonna be potentially having. So it's been an interesting week. I felt like the reality of everything, it has been setting in general, but as we get closer and closer to the date, I'm like, wow, like life is going to change dramatically, and I'm going to potentially be pregnant for the next 9 months, and it's just a lot to take in. Honestly, I've kind of gone through like happiness, then like serious mode because this is really happening, and now I'm like trying to be very neutral because I don't want to get myself too worked up in one way or the other. So it's just like, okay, we're doing it. So that's how I feel at this point. I don't know, Larry, what are your thoughts?
Wow, I share some of the same feelings as you do. It's just a matter of it's excitement. So it's a lot of excitement with regards to the new journey that we're on. But it's definitely been a process. It's a fun process. My wife has been doing a phenomenal job throughout the whole process. So I guess to answer your original question, which is how do I feel? I feel happy. It's probably the best way to say it. So very, very excited about the new things that are coming about our way. A lot of prep work, as you guys have seen today, from today's episode, in order to prepare for what hopefully will come to fruition later on this week as we make that journey to go, as I like to say, pick up the kids. So, but yeah, extremely excited, happy about the whole process. And it is a little bit nerve-wracking because now we're going from 4 to possibly 6 or 5. So it is a lot. But we're definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely happy, excited about the journey that's getting ready to continue and unfold in front of your guys' eyes as well as our eyes as well too. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts.
Yeah, so I mean, we've talked about it a little bit in previous episodes, but it's like a dramatic shift in terms of actually going and having more kids. So the other thing that's been interesting for me this week is that our current children are at my parents' house. So shout out to my parents if you're watching. Thank you so much for the support. Definitely missing them, but it's just something that we have to do right now in order to go with this next phase. So we've been able to focus on everything, and I've been mentally preparing myself and physically preparing as much as possible. So, and we're gonna enjoy some time together because we don't necessarily get that all the time. So that's pretty much it. Next time, you guys will see us going to the actual clinic to get our kids. What did you call it?
Pick up the kids.
Okay, so you'll see us pick up the kids. So make sure you tune into the next episode. Please follow us on our social media outlets, and also subscribe to our channel. Tell your friends, anyone you can think of that you think would enjoy this too. We're glad to bring them along on the journey as well. And as always, if you have questions or comments, leave those below as well. And until next time, there'll be some exciting things happening. So see you soon.
We'll see you guys. Thanks.